Hi everyone, welcome back to JP WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and I hope you're all doing well as I always do. As you can see from the list up here, this is discussing, well, technically it's the top 20 richest Premier League owners in this season, but basically it's the how everybody is financed for this season. So let's go through with it. Obviously on the backlash of Manchester City being banned from the Champions League late last night for the next coming 2 seasons. Completely understandable. They got away with it a year or so ago. And also for that matter, guys, I can't say released, but we've let Winston Reid go on loan to was it Kansas City FC? And I was talking to a geezer on there, Zach. He was messaging me asking me my opinion on Winston Reid, and I said he's an absolute legend for West Ham, and he absolutely is. Really, really was a good servant for us. Coming up to the end of his contract now. He's coming up to his 10th year as well, for that matter. Really, really hope he does well over in the States. I really, really do. Because I said to him, as long as he can get himself fit and he plays, you'll see why we hold him in such high regards. So anyway, guys, let's start off by talking about the main subject of this, which is basically, as I say, the top 20. Well, the listings from 20 upwards, so it is a top 20 of the richest Premier League owners, and a little bit more information about them. Basically, this is everything that was on the TalkSport website. Now, you guys know me. I don't like TalkSport all that much, but every now and again, they do come out with a little bit of gems here and there, and it makes interesting reading, to be honest with you. So, as I say, I thought we'd talk about it. So let's jump straight onto it, as always. So the first one, in 20th position, is Norwich City, with Delia Smith. So I don't know why it's come out that way. Norwich City, Delia Smith and Michael Wynn-Jones, the husband and wife pair, are joint majority shareholders of the Canaries and have been since 1996. We all know, for those of people that are my age that are watching, we all know where Delia Smith came from. But for those who don't know who Delia Smith is, she made her name as a cookery writer, author, and television personality, while Michael Wynn-Jones even came from the publishing side of the industry as well. So yeah, as you can see, guys, they owe, their current stock is £23 million. Not a lot of money, but fair play to them for giving it a go yet again in the Premier League. So turning it to 19th is Mike Garlick of Burnley. His net worth is £62 million. Garlick is the founder and CEO of Mike Bailey Associates, which is a project management and consultancy company. He became sole chairman of the Clarets in 2015 when co-chairman John Banaskiewicz, I think he pronounced that, apologies if I have insulted anybody in the Eastern European selection, stepped down from the role in 2015. Now, turning to the 18th place is Gino Pozzo, I should say, the Watford owner, at £93 million. Gino is the son of Italian businessman Gianpaolo Pozzo, who made his money through the family business, which is basically a tool maker. The Pozzo family bought Watford from Lawrence Bassini in 2012, and Gino has full ownership and control over the club. So again, understandable that they're doing pretty well, because they haven't got a huge amount of money, but the guys, they've got some backing, and they've got somebody that takes care of everything, and it's definitely what we need as a supporter base. So turning to 17th in the table is Sheffield United's owner, Prince Abdullah bin Musaed, whose net worth is £198 million. The 54-year-old son of Prince Musaed bin Abdullah Aziz Al Saud, and set up a manufacturing company in Saudi Arabia in 1989. He won a high court battle with Kevin McCabe over the ownership of the Blades. The ruling made last year meant McCabe must sell his stake in the club to Prince Abdullah for £5 million, which is why the Prince is now deemed as the owner of this club. Now, again, as I say, it's not a huge amount of money, but they've invested wisely, something West Ham haven't done for a very, very long time. Of course, I'll get onto West Ham where we are in a moment, and I'll talk about some other news that was coming up as well today, over the last few days. So position 16th in this table is Bournemouth owner Maxim Demin, worth £900 million. The Russian businessman became a co-owner of the club in 2011 when the club was in League One, and he assumed full ownership of the club in 2013. So just remember, guys, 9 years ago, Bournemouth were in League One, and now they are struggling a little bit, but they are still a high-flying Premier League club. 9 years. 9 years. What have we done in those 9 years? One relegation, one promotion, and that's about it. He owns at least two companies in the UK, Wintel, which is a petrochemical company, and also Wintel Holdings Limited. Other than that, his business background remains a mystery. So who cares, man? At the end of the day, if you can finance the club, so be it. So be it. Now, turning to 15th. West Ham United, David Sullivan and David Gold with a joint worth of £1.2 billion. Now, we all know that the majority of that is David Sullivan, and that in itself is most of his, he hasn't actually got any assets you can put your hand on. Most of his worth, if not all of it, is tied up in real estate. David Gold and David Sullivan acquired 50% share in West Ham in January 2010 and then purchased a further 10% a few months later, which we already know. Sullivan made his fortune in the pornography industry, and he previously owned the Daily Sport and Sunday Sport. David Gold owns Gold Group International, the parent company of Ann Summers, and he previously co-owned adult magazine company Gold Star Publications with his brother. So there's quite a lot of videos going on around about that. But as we all know, they haven't put any money into the club since 2014. What we've been spending is what we've been earning, which is the financial fair play rules, which Man City have come a cropper under, unfortunately, from one point of view. Now, the way that financial fair play works, which is what David Sullivan's been hiding behind for the last 6 years, is the fact that you can only spend what you bring in, with a buffer value of of £5 million. So if, say for example, that £190 million we made last season, if we spent £195 million, that is the buffer. That's okay within the realms of the financial fair play rules, as long as you don't report losses of over 100, I think it's 105 or 110 million pounds over the preceding 3 seasons. So that's basically what, in a complete nutshell, that's what the financial fair play rules are. Now, there's a lot of ambiguity in relation to this with the sponsorship side of things, because that's what has caught Man City out, and that's what they're in trouble for again. Was it the second season in a row now? I know Chelsea had a bit of a cropper of it last season, but that was more to do with the illegally signing young players, shall we say. But I'll come to your comments in a moment, guys. We'll talk about it when we get to the top 10. So in 14th place is Tony Bloom, who owns Brighton. He's worth £1.3 billion. So already a team that we think, and quite rightly so from one point of view, that we should be beating every season. The owner owns £100 million more than we do. He's worth more, £100 million worth more than our joint care owners. Now, that in itself is the reason why Brighton have been doing so successfully, albeit they've been floating around, keeping themselves in the Premier League only just. But Tony Bloom is thought to have acquired most of his wealth through the online gambling websites, as well as property and startup investments. So this guy is a massive, massive risk taker, and fair play to the man. He is also a well-known poker player and finished 4th at the World Series of Poker in 2005. The 49-year-old became chairman of Brighton in 2009. So he just a year before our two Davids took over the club and has taken the club from League One to the Premier League. Again, 9 years. What of our 11 years? What have we done in that time period? If we were down in League One 10 years ago, I doubt we would have come back. We would have come up that quickly. That's for damn sure as mustard. All right, so 13th place is Everton. The owner Farhad Moshiri, worth a total of £1.5 billion. Moshiri sold his stake in Arsenal to raise capital to launch a takeover of Everton, and his takeover was officially confirmed in February of 2016. So this man made a fair bit of money off a previous club. Totally understandable. The 64-year-old owns and has shares in numerous steel and energy companies in the UK and Russia. So 12th on the table is Liverpool's John Henry, worth £2.1 billion. The American businessman founded John W. Henry and Company, an investment management company. His company Fenway Sports Group purchased Liverpool in 2010, and they also own the Boston Red Sox. Now, the reason why they're able to do that is because it's owning a franchise, shall we say, especially in the American terms, in different countries. You can only own one club in one country, if I remember correctly. And that's the reason why they do it. Especially, I'm not sure of how the US works, but that's certainly how things are in the US. Henry is also the owner of the newspaper, the Boston Globe. Now, number 11, Mike Ashley of Newcastle is worth £2.3 billion. So almost twice as much as David Sullivan and David Gold. And look what he's been doing to Newcastle. He owns twice as much as he is worth twice as much as they do. As we all know, Mike Ashley made his fortune through Sports Direct and other retailing branches. He purchased his share in Newcastle of 2007 and has been largely unpopular with the club's fan base. That's a massive, massive understatement. All right, so we're coming up to the top 10 now. So I'm just going to jump into the comments and see what everybody's saying. Rick Cougar says, afternoon, hope you're well. Hello, Rick. Good to see you, mate. I am well. I hope you are too, son. Metal in both legs says, come on, you irons. Darren Higgins says, warm greetings from Bangkok, Thailand. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Nice. Good to see you. You've woken up again. TJ Cooney. Good afternoon, John. Yep, the spammer is in the account once again, so I'm going to ban his ass once more. So guys, bear with me on this for just 2 moments. Darren is saying we've rented a stadium. No shit. Jumping over the imposter. Who said what? As Will would love to see them sell up. Are there any viable English interests? Jimmy is not, as far as I know, mate. But as I say, we're talking about the owners of the clubs at the minute, mate. But yeah, let me just boot out this idiot because they are gone. So hopefully we won't be seeing this idiot anymore. Right, so it's turning to number 10 in the list. Now, this is a surprise because this isn't the owner that everybody thought it was. It's the Joshua Harris of Crystal Palace is worth £2.7 billion. Now, it's interesting on that because we all thought that it was Mike Parrish. But he's not. It's Joshua Harris who owns it. So the American co-founded Apollo Global Management, one of the world's largest investment firms, and is still a senior managing director. He owns 18% stake in Crystal Palace, as well as being the principal shareholder of the NHL team and the New Jersey Devils and the NBA team, the Philadelphia 76ers. Now that's quite interesting. So yeah, Mike Parrish may be the majority stakeholder, but he doesn't seem to be owner by the looks of it, which is a bit of a random one. Contact Light says, "Hey JP, how's it going? Good, mate. Good to see you again. No problem. Thought you were talking about me." Love you, mate. Jimmy, if you don't mind, son, I will make you a moderator on this because I know it's the early mornings over there, so you'll be able to monitor and make sure that the chat is going. Yeah, it's just had a bit of a drop there as I jumped straight back onto YouTube there. So apologies, guys. The screen may have frozen for just a little bit because my computer can't handle more than 2 screens at once. So bear with me 2 minutes. Where are we? So Rick, I've made you a moderator as well, mate. So if you can just balance the. Well, that's weird. Jimmy, your comments aren't coming up on there. So Darren, I've made you a moderator as well, so both of you guys can now. So yeah, it's a bit strange, Jimmy, how your comments aren't coming up on the group chat. That's weird, but yeah, I can see them on there. But anyway, doesn't matter. I'll try and get that sorted out afterwards. But anyway, right. So 9th in the table is Southampton owner. If I can find it, where are we? Yeah, Southampton owner Gao Jisheng is worth £3.1 billion. Jisheng became the Saints' majority owner in 2017 when he completed a £210 million deal. He was the founder of Lander Sports Development until last year when he sold enough shares to lose control of the real estate company. So most of these guys are getting their money through property. And that's where as we all know we all know that's where money comes from. It's weird, but it's good in one point of view. But anyway, so that's for another time. Manchester United, the Glazers, as we all know, worth £3.6 billion. Malcolm Glazer masterminded the takeover of Manchester United and gradually bought up the shares between 2003 and 2005. So did a sneaky deal the way that the two Davids did as well, try and get themselves more and more shares. And again, he made his billionaire dollar fortune in property, banking, and healthcare before his death in 2014. His sons Avram and Joel Glazer have since stepped up as co-chairman, which is probably one of the reasons why they're in such a state that it is. Now, 7th, again, very, very interesting on this because we all thought that the owner of Tottenham Hotspur was what's his? I can't remember his name now. It's just literally just jumped out of my head. But we all know, but it's no, actually, apparently, it is Joe Lewis. He's worth £3.9 billion. Joe Lewis is the main investor in Tavistock Group, which owns more than 200 companies in 15 countries, ranging from sports teams, energy companies, restaurants, and luxury properties. So again, property market. English National Investment Company, which Lewis owns 70.6% of, bought a controlling stake in Tottenham in 2001 from Alan Sugar. So 6th on the table, and apologies, I really, really struggle with this, is Leicester's Aiyawatt Srivaddhanaprabha. I think he pronounced that. Apologies if I got that wrong. He's worth £4.6 billion. Now, the 34-year-old, known as Top, became CEO and chairman of the King Power and the chairman of Leicester City when his father unfortunately had that awful helicopter crash outside the club stadium. It's almost 2 years ago, in fact, now. So he took over from his dad, and it was a horrible thing to see. And that's how he's now in there. So again, a team that has a lot more money than we do, and yet we expect us to beat them every week, every time we play them. 5th on the table is Nassef Sawiris, or Solaris, I think you pronounce that, of Aston Villa. He's worth £5 billion. Suarez is one of Egypt's wealthiest families and owns numerous construction, engineering, and building companies. He replaced Tony Axia, I think you pronounce that, as Aston Villa owner in July of 2018 when he purchased 55% controlling stake. Number 4 is Guo Guangchang, who owns Wolves. He's worth £5.2 billion. Guo Guangchang is the chairman of Fosun Group and has invested in insurance, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, property once again, steel, mining, retail, services, finance. I think that's finance services, I think that is, and numerous other areas of business. He completed a takeover of Wolves in 2016 and has since invested heavily in the club to get back to the Premier League. So again, they have a lot more, almost 4.5 times more money than our two co-chairmen combined. Number 3 wouldn't be at all. The next 3 are pretty much obvious now, guys. Number 3 is Stan Kroenke at Arsenal, £6.8 billion he's worth. Kroenke married Walmart heiress Anne Walton in 1974 and later founded Kroenke Group in 1983, which is a property development firm. So again, property. That seems to be the way you can own a football club by the looks of it. He first became involved in Arsenal in 2007 before assuming majority control in 2011. Kroenke also owns the LA Rams NFL team, which he relocated from St. Louis in 2016. Number 2, no surprises in any shape or form, is Roman Abramovich. He's worth £9.6 billion, and as we all know, he owns Chelsea. Abramovich purchased Chelsea for £140 million in 2003 and oversaw a huge investment in the squad that brought great success to the club. And not just that, saved their ass. Completely saved their ass. They were going to be liquidated once again if he hadn't have done that. He sold his stake in the Russian gas company Gazprom in 2005 and owned stakes in steel and nickel companies amongst his other business ventures. Probably not legally allowed to say what. And number 1, no surprises, Sheikh Mansour of Man City, who is worth a massive £23.3 billion. Mansour is the Deputy Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and half-brother of current UAE President Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan. He is chairman of International Petroleum Investment Company and also has a stake in Virgin Galactic. It's a bit random that. He also owns the Abu Dhabi Media Investment Corporation. Mansour completed a takeover of the club in 2008 and has poured huge investment into the club and is now getting his wrist spanked as a result of it. Since he became the Man City owner, they have won 4 Premier League titles. So that's it, guys. That's the listings of who is what in what team. So as we all know, that's a lot of money that has been invested into the clubs, and as a result of this, it's crazy. So let's see what else we're talking about. Welsh Hammers in. Just a thought, John. Should we be bought by Red Bull? Where do you hang on? What? Just a thought, John. Should we be bought by Red Bull? Where do you think we'd be ranked then? I think that's what he's meaning. Welcome, mate. Very, very good question. Very, very good question, because it depends on how much they actually have worth. But it'd be a fair bit. I reckon we'd be probably Red Bull as a company itself. That would be. I guess we'd probably be in the number 2 spot. We probably would be in the number 2 spot. Darren Higgins says, "Well done, Rick. I can't believe that twat is doing this on various channels. He's booting them out." Darren says, "Good try, John. I could coach you on your Thai pronunciation, King Power." And Concept Light says, "Would you welcome Red Bull as owners if it meant changing the branding of the club like Red Bull West Ham?" Now, as a lot of people keep going on about this, it's an irrelevant question. I know why you're asking it, but people don't seem to be listening to people because it's illegal. It's not illegal, but it's against, well, it is illegal from one point of view, against the Premier League ruling to have a change like that, because Hull City tried it with Hull City Tigers and they were denounced very, very quickly on that. So we cannot be, by all accounts, we cannot be Red Bull West Ham. It's just have to be West Ham United. Jijikin says locked up again. I think it means frozen there. So apologies, guys. It's probably because it's the bit of the storm out there. It's running on BT, and apparently a few people have been tweeting over the last week or so that being on BT during a storm isn't brilliant. As you guys know, this isn't all great anyway. But Welsh Hammer says, "You're welcome, mate." So thank you. You're welcome, mate. That's good. But guys, thank you very, very much for your time. Obviously, while you're here, guys, I'll take this bit of a banner. I'll take this banner down because when that's concluded that part of the conversation. But guys, ask me questions. Ask me questions, because at the end of the day, you're not going to hear from me at all until Wednesday night now. I mean, obviously, those that are on the JPWHU TV Fantasy League, you'll hear from me Tuesday night on Facebook. If you want to join up to that, then by all means click the link in the description below to join the channel page, not the channel group, even though it'd be nice to have the people in the group as well. But guys, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who signed up to the channel over the last 6 days, basically since Sunday, because we got a lot of subscribers then. It was really cool, really good. Really enjoyed it. Because literally from Sunday, we've jumped to 1,439 subscribers now. So we're literally just a couple away from making sure we're at 1,440. We were this time last week was 1,412, I think it was, or something like that. So it was brilliant. So thank you very much to everybody who subscribed to the channel recently. Mark is saying, "Hi mate, watching while in the bath, so can't chat much. Great show as always." Thanks, Mark. Nice to know you got the suds out, mate. But yeah, guys, I'm going to be sticking around for another few minutes, so ask me any questions you want, because as I say, you're not going to hear from me until Wednesday night when we do the watch along with for the Manchester City game. So it'd be good to do that. If you've got any questions, put them in the chat. Otherwise, I say, because we've been talking for 27 minutes now. So if you've got any questions, put them in the chat and I will answer them to sweet. Hopefully you guys will do, because otherwise I don't want to be sitting there wobbling to the camera, because there's not much else to talk about. I mean, obviously, we touched on it at the start of the program as well, that Winston Reid has gone to the MLS for the rest of the season. I'm disappointed to see him go from that side of things, because centre-backs, as we need as many as we possibly can. Does that mean that the likes of Akinola will come in? Yes, I really hope it does. There was a young player that signed a new contract for West Ham very recently as well. Just to see if I can bring that up for you. If you guys aren't aware of that, this guy, from what I understand, he has a lot of potential. Amadou Dalu, or Dallo, I think you pronounce it. He signed his first contract for the club. So it just basically says, so he's a forward. He's 17 years old and signed his first professional contract. Don't know how much he's going to be on, but I don't really care, because at this much, because he's 17, it shouldn't be that much of money. I'm guessing maybe 10, 15, if that, grand a week. Let's see what he's been saying. It said it feels amazing. I've been working for this my whole life. I'm delighted to sign. It's a very exciting moment for me and my family. I'd like to thank my family first of all, and all the coaches that I've worked with. All of them have had a big impact on me. One of my main dreams is to play for the club, because I grew up around Upton Park, hearing the fans singing. I just wanted to play for West Ham United. I love that. I think that's brilliant. That really is cool. And under 23's coach Dimitri Haljako has said the contract is fully deserved for Amadou. He's been at the academy a long time now, and all the coaching staff speak very highly of him. Amadou is a tricky winger. He's right-footed, but he likes to play on the left, cutting inside to try and get goals and assists. He's got flair in his game, but he's also got a really hard-working aspect as well. He is humble, quiet, but in a nice, confident way. Now he needs to keep working hard and take each game as it comes. He needs to continue his good form to round off the season, and then to look to build from there. And then it just goes. Then it quotes Diallo more frequently, saying, "I've been watching Mark Noble from a young age. I used to be a ball boy and watch all the games, so he's been a big influence on me. He's told me just to keep working hard. My highlight so far was training with the first team, getting to learn from the senior players and seeing what they do every day. Like, I don't think that would have taken long. Now I just want to become a regular for the under-23s and help them win the league." Understandable, because it's Division 2. And it just waffles on to a few other things. Right, so we've got a few questions coming in. Welsh Hammer says, "Will we be attending the protest?" Yes, I will. I've got a very, very busy day. In the morning, I'm going to the West Ham Way event in Leytonstone to see Luda McCloskey and see what he's got to say on a few things. Then I will be heading straight to the protest, then obviously to the game, and then afterwards I'll be going to the Southampton game as well. So that's going to be very, very after the Southampton game, I should say. I'll be going to the Hammers Chat boats afterwards. So it was good fun when I did it last week. The week before last, I should say, and I'm going to be doing it again. Good fun. When will you go back to the old days and do weekly thoughts? Darren, I ain't got time for that. I really, really don't. I know you enjoyed it, and it was a bit of a rant stage, but that was because I did set up a spare channel, which was JPTV, where what Darren was talking about. I do twice weekly. Sorry, 2 videos a week discussing the news ideas and my reactions on them. But this channel has got me, because of the subscriber count and everybody that's involved. This has got me a lot more busier than it used to be, unfortunately, mate. One of these days I'll bring it back. I might bring back a West Ham weekly thoughts. But yeah, that was a long time ago, mate, unfortunately. So the name can't be changed, but Red Bull brand could affect many things other than the name. So given that we have had an unpopular rebranding of the badge and the like, would the fans welcome another what? Would welcome another, I'm guessing, without the question mark in there. I don't know. I don't speak for the fan base. I only speak for myself. I don't know people's opinions on it. It's a great question they contact. I really like it. For me personally, I can't do any much worse, can they? To be honest, they can't do worse. It would be good. It'd be a good idea to have Red Bull, because at the end of the day, we'd have better training facilities. Now, this is what gets on my goat. Really gets my back up. That the as you would have seen in the accounts video, that it said, the accounts statement said that they spent £4 million on the training ground. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. £4 million 30 years ago was a shitload of money. Nowadays, it's fuck all, pretty much. It's practically nothing. So but yeah, I guarantee if we had a better investment group come in, we would have better training facilities, would have a better medical team, would have better scouting, would have more scouts for that matter. The club wouldn't need to be applying for advertising for just pay on a commission basis, as they currently are doing. Stuart Russell says, "What do you think about us having one of the lowest debts in the Premier League? Debt isn't a problem as long as it is manageable payments and invested correctly." Stuart, I have no issue with us having the lowest, but it's not the lowest debts in the Premier League. It's the lowest debts to payment ratio, which is slightly different. But yes, we have to be debt free. We have to be debt free so we can invest money properly, and that's the problem. We were supposed to get rid of that 6 years ago. David Sullivan lied to the Olympic Committee when we moved to the London Stadium. Said yes, because the terms were that we would move to the ground debt free. Didn't happen, and 4 years later we are still we are still trying to get payments off the books. It's ridiculous. What's your prediction for Wednesday? Hi, Stephen. Stephen McCann is asking that question. My prediction is we're going to lose. It's simple as that. I don't agree with a lot of people saying. I don't agree with a lot of people saying that Man City are going to be giving up now. Absolutely not. They've got a lot of fighters. We will get beaten. I don't think it's going to be the 1-0 that Kevin Slade from Sex, Drugs and Carlton Cole said. I'd love it if it was. Of course, it'd be brilliant, but I can't see it. I can't see anything but a loss, unfortunately. Luke from the Three Hammers says that's his favourite West Ham shirt. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. Good to see you in again. Darren Higgins, love it a long time ago. Gary Page, would you get a few channels together to do a mass review of whether will go down. Gary, I am well up for this. Luke's talked about us all getting together at the end of the season and just doing one huge video together. That would be brilliant. I'll be up for that. I'll be if Hammers Chat wanted to ask me, or if West Ham Fan TV are going to be doing it, or if Luke wants to do it, I'm more than happy to talk. I'm practically everywhere anyway. I speak to Nicky after the home games. I've been speaking to Hammers Chat. I do the videos for Ian's Hammers polls. I've been on American Hammers every now and again, trying to get on as a guest for the Three Hammers at some point. I'm all up for us talk, because at the end of the day, apart from the one channel that a lot of people don't like for one reason or another, I am more than happy to give my thoughts to anybody that wants me on. Absolutely happy, 100%. At the end of the day, we're all here for the same reason, all to get our opinions over about West Ham. And we're all one big family as far as I'm concerned. Hammers Chat, Kiwi Hammer, he's been on a few times. He's a good mate of mine. I haven't been on his channel yet, but he hasn't got the facility to do guests at the moment. But as I say, we're all working together. I don't think there's any more than one channel that isn't working with the rest of everybody else. We're all hammers at the end of the day. We all love to give our opinions. That's why we're doing these channels. There's hardly any times that I've disagreed with what Luke and Paul have said. I've hardly been any times where I disagree with Nicky and Ryan and Scott and Dan. Dan's been on a few times as well. Ryan's been on the channel as well. We're all one big family as far as I'm concerned. I'd love it. I would absolutely love that, Gary, if we were able to do that. Welsh Howard said we will win on Wednesday. I hope you're right, mate. TJ Cooner says, any chance we stay up? I can't see it. To be honest with you, Jimmy, I want to say yes. Of course I want to say yes. But I honestly think that if the players don't buck their ideas up, that we won't stay up. We won't. We're a point from safety. Now, obviously, there's some other games being played at the moment. Let's just see if I can bring up what the results are. I'm sure there's. No, I don't think. Actually, no, there isn't any games today right now, isn't it? Because it's part of the winter break, so they're all. I think it's like an afternoon and evening kickoffs, I think, aren't they? Where are we? So yeah, Norwich at Liverpool at 5:30. And Burnley beat Southampton early this morning 2-1. So that puts the table at we're still a point away from safety, so that's fine. Burnley are now 10th as a result of that. Not a bad go for them. Flogo says, I'm new here. Amazing live video. Thank you very much, Flogo. If you're liking it, mate, then by all means, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get to know when new content is going up. If you do, mate, that looks like you'll be the 1440th subscriber, because we're currently sitting on 1439 at the minute. Darren Higgins says, congratulations on the 1.4k. Thanks very much, mate. We have to sort out a gift for your 2000th subscriber. I'll ask my wife to sub and keep it in the family. Now, Darren, as everybody knows, I went to, for the 1000th subscriber, I did say that we would get a commission plaque saying 1000 subscriber for WHU TV, and it was legitimately done. Unfortunately, the 1000th subscriber was only there for the glory. Once I said it was 1000 subscriber, they unsubscribed and have been saying have been unsubscribed for a while now. So unfortunately, I'm not really. But you guys, over the last 6-7 months, there's a true community now. I won't say the person's name, but they seem to go out of their way of disliking the videos, which is fine. I haven't got an issue with that if it's genuine. We had a few words a little while ago, but it's a shame that it happened. But that's what it is. So I'm a bit hesitant about gifts at the moment, Darren. But yes, once I can trust the people more, then there will be more gifts coming this way. West Ham, Southampton lost. Yeah. We have to get to the number 10 spot because it's our goal now. We have to not feel bad at our own position. Well, Flogo, I hope you ain't happy that we're close to we're in the relegation zone, mate. Gary, are you not worried that the club have said if we go down, it will be catastrophic? That worries the crap out of me. It worries the crap out of me too, because they're trying to point the blame at David Moyes. They're not taking responsibility for what they've done. It's quite simple as that. Everybody, it won't be a catastrophe, because in the accounts, they've fundamentally said that one of the things that they have to budget for 3 seasons in advance is threat of relegation. So if they've lied in the accounts, if they haven't done it. Southampton beat Burnley earlier. Oh yeah, you just said that. Already sub. Flogo, thanks, mate. Much appreciated. A lot of predictors are saying that it will come down to the last game of day against Villa. I don't like the odds on our survival. We just don't look like we have the fight in this. Agreed, contact. 100%, mate. I agree. I hope it doesn't come down to that game, because I'm just coming back from hopefully coming back from my birthday holiday on the night before. So the last thing I bloody want to be doing is being that nervous. Irons United. Luke, you know the answer to that one, son. Where you been, 3 hammers? They're back, Gary. They're back. They've been back for quite a while. Back tomorrow, guys. Me 3, Gary. Yeah, we're talking about make sure I'm up then. Cool. So, guys, as I said, it's been I am worried. I am legitimately worried about us getting relegated. I really, really am worried about us getting relegated, because at the end of the day, it's going to happen one way or another. There's a very, very good video that went up at Hammers Chat yesterday. Well, that I watched yesterday, I should say, when they got a few other people on board, like the geezer from Newcastle Fan TV was on there, a woman who runs one of the Man United pages, an Arsenal supporter, etc., got on there and basically said, a lot of people saying we are going to get relegated. Some people saying that they're not. My instinct is, seeing it firsthand, is that we are, unfortunately. Luke's pissing himself. Good lad. But it's just but yeah, guys, thank you very, very much for your time. It's been brilliant to talk to you. As I said, I hope you've found the 20 list useful, because at the end of the day, as we keep saying, we all know that we've got a billionaire in charge of our club, but it's not enough. It's not enough. When you take a look at how everybody else is at that point, how much money Brighton owner has, how much money the Wolves owner has, how much money everybody else seems to have. We're 15th in the table out of 20th. That's not good. That's not good. Jimmy says we've had some unfair calls go against us, but clubs who stay up win matches like Brighton and Hove Albion. Agreed, mate. 100%. The only way you do stay is by winning matches. Yes, all right. We've always had decisions go against us, and we've still battered down the hatches. It's just been a little bit easier for us to blame it on VAR this season, but we've always had it, unfortunately. I hope that we could survive relegation zone, since we have only 25 points. It's 24, if I remember correctly. Let me just double check that for you, mate. But I'm sure it's only 24. Villa are on 25 points. I'm sure, because I know they're a point above us. So let's have a look at the table just briefly. Yeah, 24 points on joint on goal difference with Watford as it stands at the moment. Luke says should we get Champions League place now? City kicked out because we were promising big club. Like it, mate. It'd be nice, but I guarantee the 2 days will come out in solidarity with Man City, and come out and saying, yeah, we promised that we won't be getting into the Champions League for the next couple of seasons. Miles Austin say West Ham's 5 last games. Miles, are you asking what they are, or do you think what points I'm going to be getting out of it? Rick Cogger says, good video, John. See you on the 29th. Yep, I hope so, mate. You know where I'll be. We do know that Manchester City has been banned for the Champions League for 2022. Not really sure what you're apologising for, Floro. Is this the real 3 hammers? I would assume no. It was TalkSport banter earlier. To be honest with you, though, mate, there's a very good chance that this is the Three Hammers because because I know how Luke types, and it doesn't actually look like it's a teenager trolling him as it was me a little while ago. But I would just double check his account for you, mate. It's Darren. Yeah, Rick agrees with me. Gary, you need an owner that will pile money in to get your infrastructure right. Needs at least 300 million to start with, not with this lot. Agreed. 100%, mate. Absolutely agree with you. It's piss poor to say the least. Piss poor investment is an understatement more than anything else. It really, really is. And yeah, he verifies it. It is. I'm Lukey boy. But no, it's been great. It's been top to talk to you guys as always. Darren says, great show and banter, people, as it always is. And I'm quite glad that Luke's popping in back on quite a few regular occasions, mate. Always good to see you. Enjoyed the conversation we had on Sunday. I know you did too. It's been great. And as I say, I'm happy to come on to Three Hammers when you have an evening free. And we can sort that out because I know you're trying to get other people on board as well, which is all good. It's all gravy. It's all fine. I'm not going anywhere for a while. But guys, thank you very, very much for your time. If you're new around here and you like what I'm doing, then by all means, please do hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get to know when new content is going up. The guys who are watching the replay, by all means, please do put your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, then and by all means, please do like it. The more likes this video gets, the more exposure this gets on YouTube, and therefore the more audience this will be reached. And also, guys, as I said, Wednesday night I'll be doing the live watch along with for the Man City game, so keep an eye out for that. I'm not going to be doing a preview video for it. There's no point. There's not much has really changed, to be honest with you, in terms of both teams. I mean, City news out of the way. Not much has really changed. Yarmolenko is coming back. Anderson is coming back. But that's it. There's nothing else really to talk about that's going to affect the game. So it says that Gary says, have you ever had a club message you about your videos, JP? No, I haven't, Gary, at all. And I'd fight them if they did, to be honest with you. Contact says, cheers, JP. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you do, mate. Pleasure. Yeah, same. Likewise, Luke. I said, if we could sign a good player, it could be Adam Traore. No, mate, he's going to go to Barcelona by the looks of it. He's going to go back home. We had a chance to buy him before he went to Middlesbrough, but we turned it down. So I don't think he'd come to us again, I should say. Watch Hammer says, remember, guys, a day without laughter is a day wasted. Agreed, 100%. And chances that Bowen and Alea are being worked into 3-5-2 or 4-4-2. Anyway, thanks, mate. Great to see you. Great to see you too, Jimmy, mate. Always a pleasure to talk to you. 3-5-2 won't work. It won't work. 4-4-2 will work. Souček and Rice as the holding midfielders. With I don't know enough about Bowen, so I can't really say. But I would imagine that Bowen would be out on the right, and if Anderson fit enough, which I don't think he is, would be out on the left. But personally, I think that Anderson plays better football on the right than he does on the left. Gary says, "What do you think of the banner in the COP? Love it. You mean the banner over the COP about GSB out? Agreed. I'm not going to disagree with it. It's great that they're absolutely doing that." Darren says, "Are you doing all the gear tomorrow?" Yes, I'll leave them to answer that one, but I'm sure Luke will be probably between 9 o'clock and midday. Like, it depends on how bored he is on the Sunday morning, I should imagine. But anyway, guys, I'm off. Good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you